Offshore oil and gas production activities have long been a mainstay business for helicopter operators. So of course, for those years when the oil price was so suppressed recently, that was very bad news indeed. So it brought cautious optimism when in December 2016, OPEC finally grasped the nettle and corrected the supply and demand balance to some degree, nudging prices above $50 per barrel. But it hasn't been completely transformational, and it's still in question whether the impact of this decision will be lasting.
While the oil price has increased to the low to mid 50s, it has not yet had a large impact on demand for our services offshore. What we're seeing is some areas of positive trends developing, mostly in South America for us. We have operations in Brazil, Colombia, Suriname, Guyana Basin. Those areas seem to have good activity building for later in 2017. Our primary market, which is the U.S. Gulf of Mexico, remains subdued, and there is no near-term increase of any significance in activity that we see on the horizon.
So for many helicopter operators, the key to survival is diversification in terms of the types of clients that they serve.
ERA Group participates in a number of different end markets. Our largest is oil and gas, and the offshore oil and gas industry has been difficult over the last 2.5 or so years. We also have a search and rescue business, which is stable, and we have an air medical services business, largely in the US today. That's been a difficult market given the saturation and the competitive conditions in the market, although we are exploring some air medical missions outside of the US, which seem to be promising. Our firefighting and flight seeing businesses and other seasonal activities that we also participate in have been steady as well.
And this approach requires operators like ERA Helicopters to have a very diverse fleet of aircraft to suit all requirements.
ERA has not only one of the largest, but also one of the most diverse helicopter fleets in the industry. And that's really for two reasons. The first is to serve the variety of the missions that we perform. So we do offshore oil and gas, where we use a lot of our heavies and mediums. We use our mediums in our search and rescue business. We also have a contract with the US government to fly their inspectors offshore, which employs a lot of our light aircraft. We also use our light aircraft for our flight seeing business in Alaska. So these different classes of machines, everything from the heavy to the light singles, are employed depending upon the various missions that we serve. And then the other reason why we have a multitude of models is that in any one asset class, we don't want to be dependent on just one model. This is, after all, aviation. And you don't want to concentrate your operational risk in just one model. So we like to have a couple of options in the heavy category, a couple of options, modern options in the medium category, and so on.
Even after the very tough times of recent years, ERA Helicopters has been able to make the case for investing in new equipment.
ERA is very excited about our new AW189 helicopters. We took delivery of the first two at the end of 2015 in the US. We're the launch customer in the United States for the 189. We're also the launch customer in Brazil for the 189. We just took delivery of our first two in the Brazilian market. What we like about this aircraft is the versatility that it offers. It has capabilities that can take 16 passengers to deep water, offshore areas, and it also offers a very efficient cost proposition. The operating cost of this aircraft are very competitive. So on a per passenger seat basis, you're able to present a very compelling economic proposition to our customers, which in this oil price environment is even more important than ever.
And the company isn't even confining itself to helicopters these days. It has chosen to see unmanned aircraft as an opportunity rather than a threat. And that has inspired it to create its own unmanned aircraft division.
We see the UAS market growing dramatically. I think that there's a subsegment of that is really relevant for ourselves and other existing helicopter companies. To be honest, we're not going to compete with an Amazon or a Google who may want to get into that business on size for applications that don't require a significant lift capability or an advancement in technology. But the areas of the UAS market that we see potential in are ones that are either complementary to our existing services. For example, in our search and rescue business, coordinating with UAS for the search component and then being able to get the aircraft there for the rescue component. Or another area where we see promise are applications where it offers enhanced safety and cost efficiency versus the typical or historical aircraft offering.